Okay, so today is Saturday, 24th June 2023. So I'm back on question and answers on Peugeot cars on my YouTube channel. So let's start with this. This from Abasi Freak. Abasi Freak something. But anyway, so he said, well said. I get in the mix sometimes. I love the build and ruggedness of horses. The unspoken prestige it carries. Still, I want a 407 for our questionable good look that makes you stand out. The extra 6-speed manual transmission and modern interior gadgets. So this is his comment on the short article I published on 406 and 407. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago or something. So yeah, see, the thing about this 406 and 407 thing is I've done quite a number of videos and articles on these two cars. Just once in a while, so let me just redo it, so that people will be educated. Of course, there are so many things I didn't mention on that article. It's not as if I didn't just want it to be that long. Because most of these things are things I've been saying all over and over. So I mean, you could go. I know some people will be looking at the article as if 406 is better than 407. No, that's not the point of that article. If you read it with logical mind, you get where I'm coming from on there. It wasn't about that, which is better or which is not. It was just about 407 was not, to me, didn't represent the actual upgrade to 406, which is meant to be. So it was, to me, it was just like a different vehicle. Because when you talk about upgrade is supposed to be something better than what you have. So 406, the next car that's supposed to replace it was supposed to be better than 406, but 407 was like a different vehicle altogether, like a different model. But then I don't know, for some reason they just gave it that badge because it was like built on a deep, as in, I wouldn't say different platform, just completely different. Like saying you can't say 406 is 607. 607 is just completely different. Even though sometimes I use 607 is a luxury version of 406. So in other words, yeah, it still makes sense. It's not 406, but you can consider it like a luxury version of it. So 407 is something else as well. Okay, for example, there's something I actually wanted to say. I'm trying to remember. Anyway, let me not go much into it. But when you look at 406 for the people who prefer 406, it's not, like I said, it's not as if it's better, because there are so many areas 407 have advantage over 406. I mean, 406 is not a sports car. It's not even a performance car. Likewise, 407 is not a sports car, but it's a performance car. I mean, 407, what I'm talking about, it's not a performance, or it's a performance car regarding the ones that have the biggest engines, or the most powerful engines. That's what I'm referring to, not the ones with the full economy engines. So the V6 406 and the V6 407, when you put the two together, 406 is not a performance car. 407 V6 is. So sure, 406 V6 has some performance, packages. The engine, they mounted performance engine on it, performance steering. That's about it. The only the brakes, the only place we talk about performance like the 406 coupe. That's where I could talk about the ones that have performance brakes. But generally, they just have standard brakes. But 407, it cut across not just the engine, the steering, but the suspension, so many other things. So 407 is built as in, when you look at it very well, I can say. So 406 V6 is like a bullet on the road. You could easily kill yourself with that car. So anyone that drives, if I the person that might not even experience what I'm saying is a 406 V6 that has ESP, which is not many. Standard 406 V6, they don't even have the VC, or majority of them don't have ESP. Because ESP, these days just take over the handling of the vehicle. So, but the normal, the normal V6 one, you will be the one to do the control of the vehicle on high speed. Unlike the 407, where the vehicle is doing that for you, not you necessarily. So it's like a bullet. So if you're not careful, it could kill you. Well, that makes it more fun, because the riskier the more fun it is. But however, it can be very, very deadly. So that's one of my points. So 407 is much safer. It's much safer to speed with than 406. If you are using 406 2.0 liter engine, 1.8 liter engine, even 2.2 liter, you probably might not really understand, because as quick as yours is not going to be that dangerously unsafe compared to the one with 3.0 liter engine, with the added weight on the front, and the vehicle doesn't really have that performance suspension like that to be able to handle that kind of power. So you got to be the one to be able to maintain the car stability with that power once you are in actual pushing it really, really hard. So that's why I'm saying, so don't look at it like, I'm praising 406, making it look better than 407, because like I say, there are some areas 406 is like, you can't even, don't even bother, because your 407 will beat your ass there in those areas. So for example, I also talked about the 508, the first generation, being the actual proper upgrade to 406, because I'm talking about the character now. 508 is also not a performance car, just like 406. So when you look at 406 character in terms of the rigidity and so many things, the 508 is that W2 representing. Now, the one I'm talking about is not that first generation. I always tell people avoid that particular first generation, because the first generation, they are into two: play and the facelift. So that facelift, avoid it. If you want to get the actual facelift, 508 W2, the first generation. So it has most of the 406 characters. The maintenance cost is there's not much difference. Well, there is a difference, but it's like just how many percent will I say to to that of the facelifted W2 508 compared to the facelift 508. Because when it's an upgrade, it's not supposed to be worse than what you have in terms of maintenance costs, which is where that facelift failed. I mean, it's as if you are switching from 406 to the pre-facelift W2, it's as if like 3 or 4 times the maintenance cost of 406. It's not just buying the parts. No, you frequent workshop more, or you know, the repairs, you do repairs more on the car than the 406. Unlike the facelifted model, because that facelifted model, those issues on the pre-facelift were sorted out. You know, anybody that uses 406 will know that the maintenance cost is very low. In terms of ground clearance, is like the same. The W2 508 also have that higher ground clearance. The suspension is almost similar. I'm not saying identical, but close to that of 5. In fact, the 508 W2 508 can even handle Nigerian rough terrain better than that, even 406, unless you are talking about the one assembled in Nigeria. Even has 508 has higher ground clearance. I'm talking about W2 508 or first generation 5. It has higher ground clearance than the 406 foreign assembly. So it can even be more comfortable to travel with the 508 than even the 406. So I'm going to give you an idea of what upgrade actually means. Something better than the other, without pushing the maintenance cost that high or so much high. Because if it's better, it means you shouldn't fail more often, or you shouldn't be spending more than what you used to spend, or excessive. Let me just say, spending more, excessively more than what you used to have to, or used in maintaining your previous vehicle. So the car, if let's look at 508, the first generation and second generation, which is the first generation is W2, the second generation is R8. The second generation 508 is the current one you see, the new one you see now, the one that has that Dracula teeth in front. When you look at it too, you could say that's a perfect upgrade, just like what happened in 504 and 505. So the first generation 508 and second generation 508 is like Peugeot realized the mistake they make in 406 and 407 and corrected it in that these two 508 generations. So I could say, yeah, when you talk about upgrade, this is where it is. For example, when you look at the R8, the second generation, it has more power, that when I talk about, it has more HP. The horsepower is about 225 horsepower. The torque is about 300 Newton torque, compared to the predecessor, which has 163 horsepower and 240 Newton torque. But guess what? It consumes less. It consumes less than the predecessor. You remember we are in the article where I talk about the 504 and the 505. How 504, even though 505 even has more gadgets, because the more the gadget, the heavier the vehicle. So I think 505 has about 50 kg to that of 504. Depending on engine model anyway. So it's almost the same. So 505 almost, even with the additional everything, yet the consumption will almost like the same. So likewise, the 505, 508, the two of them, the first generation and second generation, the newest one, which is the successful upgrade, has more power, yet consume less than the predecessor. Unlike the 406, where the 406 and the 407 have same power, yet the 407 is not faster and consume less, no, consume more than the predecessor. So you can't consider that as an upgrade, because it's as if you know, I don't want to use the word downgrade from what you have before. Unless you are looking at the looks, like the person mentioned here, how the 407 looks. But practically, it's supposed to be better all round, at least more than 50% in the previous vehicle. You know, why is the 508 the successor better than, or a better upgrade to the predecessor, the W2508? Is number one, Peugeot managed the weight. The W2508 has almost the same weight with 407. It's about how much? Try to remember. 1,500 for the petrol engine. That's for the one with THP engines. About 1,500 kg or 600 kg. Thereabouts. Why this newer one, or the R8 508 now has about 1,300 and something, or approximately 400 kg, but let's just say 300 and something kg. So almost at the cutoff, about 100 to 200 kg. And then of course use a shorter gear ratio, which is S-speed on that. It was S-speed, E88. You know. So you could see what they did in 505. Remember 505 and 504. Somehow they actually like basically same engine, but what now happened was, for example, for the petrol engine in 504 and 505, there are 4 cylinders and there are V6. Yeah, 504 has 4 cylinder and V6 petrol engines. So for the 4 cylinders, the 2.0, what they now did, they put it in 505, especially like the one is in GL 504 is what you see in SR 505. But what now happened was they changed the carburetor. Both vehicles have double barrel carburetor, but they changed carburetor. Now put a carburetor that is more refined, that consumes less, with a little bit more power on the 505. So they makes it better on the 505 than the GL. Now for the V6, of course, 504 has a V6. So what they now did was, on the 505, they increased the power. It's almost same engine, just a little bit difference in terms of size. They increased the power and now change it from carburetor to injection. So it consumes less and still has more power and still quicker than the 504. More power, less fuel economical, or better fuel economy, and yet quicker. So, but the 407 and 406, it was just like I said, I don't know why the decision, it was just a different vehicle. Because otherwise you could say it was a failure in terms of trying to make it an upgrade or a newer 406. It wasn't. Because if it was supposed to be a newer 406, it's supposed to be better than the 406. So it's now look as if the 406 and 407 are just two brothers, different, or just two vehicles on parallel doing two different things. Because one did not. The only time you could say has something. It's more like an aesthetics. The gadgets, the looks of it, but that's not the main technical part of the vehicle. When you are talking about a successful replacement of a vehicle or an upgrade. Why buy a vehicle where you are spending less, or you are spending ₦1 to fuel a vehicle on giving distance, and then you are buying a replacement of that, a newer part of that vehicle with the same engine, only for you to start spending ₦3 in fueling the same vehicle. It's supposed to cost you less, so it's newer, so it's not supposed to make it more undesirable. I don't know how to put it here. I know some people are looking at it differently. And everybody have their own what ticks in them, Just like I said, I didn't even get a 407 for fuel economy because I know it already. I got it for performance. Even though I know the 406 consume less. So I got this one because I know there are areas of performance 406 doesn't match at all with the 407. So that's why I got it. So I'm not looking at it from angle that, it's better. So it came for what it came for. And 406 is there for what it also came for. So I know it's taking too long now to explain all over what I've already said in the article, but it's just that some of these things, you could tell I didn't mention them, but if I've done, that will make it too long. So people that usually do complain in 406 or in 407 per se, in terms of fuel consumption, just people that maybe they switched or okay, you could use the word upgrade, but the switch from 406, they were using 406 probably with a particular engine model, and they bought 407 with that same engine model, only to realize that now the 407, which is newer, which is expected to consume less, is now consuming more. And it's not even as quick as the one, so it won't really feel that comfortable. For me, 407, what could have worked best for 407 to actually make it maybe a proper upgrade to 406 is by turbocharging or supercharging their petrol engines. That would have been the best, because what would not happen was, because of that excess weight on the vehicle, can we call it excess weight? Because the only reason why I'm considering it as overweight car is because of the power, because they are underpowered compared to what they replaced. So that extra load, what would have easily pulled it would have been to turbocharge them. When you turbocharge them, what will now happen is you could reduce the engine size, turbocharge or supercharge. It will either give the same power or increase the power more than the 406, and now consume less than the 406. Because what that turbocharged engine will do is, because turbocharged or forced induction engines, they produce high torque at low RPM. So those torque will now handle the weight of that excess load or weight of that 407 without affecting the fuel economy or without consuming more than the 406. That would have been the best option. Or you increase, even if you want to maintain natural aspirated engine on 407, you simply increase the power. Increase the power. You basically don't even need to do a different engine model. Same engine, all you need to do is change few engine components to handle more power. You increase it. That V6 engine, trust me, the one in 407 can actually handle close to 300 horsepower. All you need is change some components inside. Maybe the pistons, the crankshaft, the camshafts, tune the ECU. Boom, power will go up to 250, 270. Yeah, it will handle it even more, close to 300. Same thing with 2.0. Remember, there was a 2.0 engine in 307 that has about 180 horsepower. So all you have done is you use those, you do the same thing on the EW10J4. So instead of being EW10, you now use EW10J4S there, or something similar to have the same close to power with EW10J4S. To boost the only problem with the EW10J4 engine is the torque is very low, because even that EW10J4S it doesn't have enough torque. In fact, the torque is still low, so it actually will still affect the fuel economy per se, because in that case you really have to push it hard for the HP to come in. But one engine you need is, that's why the VC, you don't really need to push out because the torque is already there. So the best you could do, you now work on the gearbox, tweak the gear ratio to be able to pull the car much faster at lower RPM. So you don't need to press the throttle down so hard for the car to gain reasonable speed. In that case, if you are not throttling too hard, the car won't consume that much. So it will not consume better than 406 in the place. But then if you do that, it will fail because that time, I don't know, is it Euro 4 emission program or system? I'm trying to remember which particular program at that time. So you would have failed that program, that emission system program in EU at that time, or European countries. So in that case, Peugeot wouldn't have sold 407. They won't allow them to sell them if you don't pass that test. So that's why I tell people the EP6 engine is not the best among what engine Peugeot have produced. But I can understand why Peugeot had to switch to those engines. It's just that, the earlier ones were a mess. One problem to the other. This and that. It can still be fixed, but I'm just saying. That's why I advise people just avoid that pre-facelift 508. The first generation ones, avoid it. Those are the ones that have all those engines. It's possible the one you might buy, maybe the previous one now have changed it and put the facelifted engine more, but if you're actually following it, the facelift, because they change a lot of things on that one. So I don't see how it will work well. So okay, it's taking too long trying to explain the same article I posted, but I want people to actually get a clear picture of where I'm coming from on that piece. It wasn't really about 406 is better than 407. It was about where Peugeot made a mistake on 407. It shouldn't have been 407 batch on it. So have been something else, since he didn't actually successfully place this, because it didn't make it better. Some people will tell you that 504, 505 was not a better car to 504. But I disagree, because unless the person actually didn't use 505, it's just better vehicle. Like I said, 504 of course has some ages over 505, but overall 505 is just a better car. If you use the two, you understand, just a better car. So okay, so let's move on. I probably will skip writing or doing an article on these two cars. It just there's so many things to talk about. It's just that it always circles around 406. It's just that 406. It just anyway. Okay, so moving on. So this is from same person, Abasi Frek Batubo 2797. So he said this is a post I published concerning fuel consumption of 407 Coupe V6 6-speed manual 100 kilometer drive. So he said it looks like the consumption is fair. Yeah, the fuel consumption, that's 100 kilometer city drive I did on the 407 Coupe. Yeah, to me, it wasn't out of place. Of course, it's not like it's lower than the 406 if you do the same test. No, it's not. But it's fair to me. It's not beyond, it's not higher than what Peugeot claimed. That's where I'm coming from. If you actually look at Peugeot user manual on 407 Coupe, that's exactly what he claimed you're going to get when you drive in the city with that 6-speed manual gearbox. So he did exactly what he's supposed to do. Remember, it's city drive, not highway. City drive, we are mostly on short gear, lower gears, gear 1 to 3, 4 sometimes. Unlike highway where you mostly on 5, 6, 5, 6, so the consumption would drop. Of course, if it was on highway that I did this 100-kilometer test drive, of course, it won't be as, the consumption will not be as high as what you saw on the picture. But it was a city drive with AC constantly on, so yeah, normally it was nothing bad about it. But the reason why I posted it is, I just want people to know what it's like to own a 407 V6, because the way they did that 6-speed manual gearbox and the AMCs, the consumption are almost similar. Both of them have shorter gear ratios. But personally, you gain more when you use the manual mode on that automatic 407 V6 than that of leaving it on drive mode. The drive mode will kind of drag it, and once it starts dragging the heavy weight of the car, it consumes more. So manual mode will help you achieve the same result with that of manual 407 V6. So that is for the coupe. Again, like I said, I don't even know whether the right pronunciation is it coupe or coupe. Anyway, whichever one. So for the saloon V6, I would expect it to be a little bit less because it has a lesser weight to that of the coupe. The one I expect it to consume much more than what I posted is station wagon V6 407. It has excess weight, the really high weight compared to the saloon and the coupe. Almost like 200 kg, I can't remember, or either 100 or 200 kg different from the saloon. About over, I can't remember the exact difference in the kg, but it's really that huge. So I expect it to. You see, I've driven quite a number of 407 V6 station wagon or estate. They are most actually estate, but I'm always using station wagon because I don't have that 7 seats on the boot. So, extra seat in the boot. So that makes it an estate. So, but all the ones I've driven, they are kind of honestly underpowered. You could say slow. You'll be wondering, is this car actually V6? You have to actually press it down to the floor. Of course, because they're automatic, not manual. You have to press it almost to the floor, and the car will kind of be shouting. In fact, I kind of enjoy driving the 647 station wagon 2.2, that EW12 with 6-speed manual. Yeah, they do have 6-speed manual. Of course, 4-speed automatic, which is, those ones are horrible. So I do enjoy driving the E12 Estate 407 6-speed manual. You actually enjoy it. In fact, I won't say they are quicker than that V6, but you probably can even tell the difference based on the way it moves. That manual gearbox they put on that E12 from 407 is very good. It really matches the gearbox. Very short gear ratio. So you don't need to press it hard to pull that excess weight on the vehicle. I'll keep using the word excess weight because, like I said, the engine is supposed to have more power than what they actually have or photo mounted on them. So, but the gearbox on that car really tried. So, the saloon E12 driven, they're also good. Of course, saloon has less weight. The 4HP20 you will find on 407, both saloon and station wagon. The 4-speed automatic gearbox on that E12 407. I don't know, I just don't enjoy driving them, It doesn't make them slow like that, but it doesn't make them that fast. So that's it. So the manual one is much better. Trust me, when you drive it, it's much better. I'm not saying you have to be a speed demon to enjoy. No, I'm saying, but sometimes when I say this, people will be like, is it always about speed? It's not even about speed. I mean, I don't know who enjoys every time you want to drive a car, you have to press your throttle very low. I mean, almost down for the car to even make serious move. For you to even make overtake, you have to press the throttle to the floor. I don't think I enjoy such drive. I don't know. I don't say people. Well, all my cars I've been driving while in motion, I can't remember when last I press the throttle to the floor. I don't do that. These are manual cars. All you need to downshift to the right gear, press the throttle maybe halfway down. That's all you need. You see how the car will shoot out like rocket. But if it's automatic, you have to go down to the floor. But manual, you don't need it. Because automatic, sometimes it will select the wrong gear, so you won't really push the car the way you want. But the manual, you already know the gear you want. You select it. You don't need to push it hard, and boom, you do your overtaking very quickly and maybe reduce your speed again. So that's why I always, when it comes to that 407 E12 manual, I always tell people, if you can find it, they are not that common. If you can find it, especially the one with the 3FY version of EW12, that's the one engraved E4. That's the best, the sweetest of 407. One of the sweetest, yeah, you can drive. It's very sweet. Just get, if you can find one with manual, you understand what I mean. You know. So, okay, moving on. This from Men Faith 33. His comment on video I did concerning leaving ignition switch, ignition key and ignition switch, which is bad when doing electrical work. So say what is CON 2000? No, what I meant was COM, COM, not CON. So it's one word, not two words. COM 2000. So you can look it up to see what it looks like, but it's basically just the panel behind the steering wheel that houses all those switches. We call them driver switches. All those switches behind your steering wheel, they are all attached on that COM 2000. So you can check it up to see what it looks like. This on Donald 4474. Good morning to the Lion King. Water entered my 307 from the driver's side and touched my fuse box underneath the steering wheel. My central lock has stopped working because of that. I've sorted out the problem of water entering into the car, but my central lock has not worked till now. Please, can the affected fuse box be repaired? I live in Abuja. Thank you. Well, you could say it's fuse box kind of, but it's actually BSM unit. Since it's 307, there's no other fuse box there, if not BSI unit. Does it have? There's one mini fuse box usually attached. I know it's on 407, I don't know. In front of the BSI unit. I can't confirm if it's like that on 307. However, that one won't have any issue if water enters it. The one that will have issue is the BSI unit. So if truly all the fuses are okay there and the issue remains, it's possible the water has damaged something in your BSI unit. You know, like I talked about in the video concerning this weaving key on the ignition switch while doing repairs or for whatever reason. The 406 do have that issue. You know, that's one of the things people don't know. They always think that 406 is too perfect. No, it has its own issues. Some default issues that you may experience. Not everybody will experience it. Water do enter. I mean, it's like by default. For some reasons, to enter into the vehicle, sometimes it will be dropping directly on the BSI unit, and you start having this kind of issue you have. You won't fail immediately. You just be having some electrical issues, this and that, until one day immobilizer sign will come up and you check it and realize there's huge water dropping from the BSI unit. But you can also tell, if you're observant enough, can tell that the floor, the foot mat, you will be seeing water there. So you should be concerned before it gets that bad. So it's possible it affected your BSI unit. So can it be repaired? Maybe. But of course, the solution or replacement is always there. So you need to find out if truly. But like I said, I don't see any other thing that can cause it. If not that BSI unit, as long as you say it started after water entered there, that is it's only BSI unit that can do that from that side of the car, inside the car. Unless there's something else I'm not remembering right now. So find a technician that will confirm what I just said. If it can be repaired, fine. If not, well, like I said, you have to replace it. I think it's good luck lucky for you. 307, depending on the model, phase 1, phase 2. The BSI and the new one is available, so you may not need to change the complete kit. If you are for the, if you choose to buy used one, can buy new one, program it, and everything is sorted. I don't know. But if you are buying used one, you may end up buying the complete kit, and then it will corrupt the mileage on the instrument panel. So I have to deal with that. Okay. This from Ajebo Mechanic. Said thanks for the information. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that you people are hearing this information for the first time. I know I've been saying it for many years now. Talking about years, like 2012 or thereabout. Since 2012. So anyway, it's not everybody knew me back then or been following me my publications back then online. Okay. This from Mohammed Ali. He said, please, I need to understand how fuel consumption on Peugeot 307 works. No, I don't think I can do that on this video. I've done maybe 20 or 30 videos on Peugeot 307 and its fuel consumption. So just go to my videos on my channel. You'll find a lot of them. I don't think even article. You see, one thing with my articles is I will have numerous blog sites and social media platforms where I publish these things. Some of them have even lost track of some of the blog sites. I don't put them out wherever you are, whether you're in Nigeria or not. If you have access or you're able to come across it, you read it, gain something from it, and not making any financial benefit from those blogs. And even this YouTube channel, like I said, look at it. If you look down there, you can see I've not activated what's it called? I'm not yet. I'm not started making money on this site. I don't know why I don't want to, or I've not done it. I've not. One day I will just have to. But just I don't want to limit myself, because I know once I do that, there are certain things I won't be able to say, and I don't like being restricted like that. So you get the point. Yeah, I may have to. It depends, but I've created another channel where I can be doing some of those other discussions. So when I have time, I'll do monetization. I'll monetize this channel. So it's not about money. There are so many of this information out there. So go to them, articles, videos, discussion on 307, to the best of them when it comes to fuel consumption. Yeah, you can. This one, Kelechi Chijo, he said, are you in Abuja? Yes, I'm in Abuja. It's about this thing I talked about. Okay, this is a post on my 505. So this from Donabella said upper and lower clutch port failure was a problem to me using my Peugeot 504. The problem got exacerbated with fake spares bought in the market. They are not likely to get made in France clutch keys anymore in Niger market. However, I eventually saw the problem of constant clutch pot failure usually occurred after rekitting either up or down one by changing the two at once. So for months, I've been driving without clutch issues. Clutch plates may become bad if you constantly apply water-logged areas. It starts with release bearing, damage and progress to clutch plate. And this issue letter. Yes, how you drive, not releasing clutch pedal fully while throttling can lead to plate and disc failure. By and large, car exposure to waterlogged area is a risk factor. Buying genuine parts, direct value from France or Germany can help a great deal. Kudos to you, Lion King. Your Peugeot 505 2.0 looks well kept and pleasing to behold. Okay, I talked about clutch kits, the clutch cylinders. That's what we call it. Even though over here we call it clutch pot, but it's clutch cylinder. The two of them, what I realized about the two cylinders, the master clutch cylinder and the slave clutch cylinder, the one on the gearbox. If once they start leaking, it's as good as replacing the cylinders completely. It was back then in the 80s, like started driving in the 80s. So back then from 80s to 90s, you don't need to replace, because that time the repair kit, which is those sales, sometimes you will even find the pinion inside them, depending on the kit you are buying. It's enough to actually fix and stop the leakage for a very long time. But now the repair kits, those rubbers are used, they don't work. So it's better just buy the complete. Once any of the clutch cylinder fails. Regarding the waterwork issue, we talked about the release bearing. It's not just about driving under where water is. If you are the type driving now and then, you're always watching your engine bay, pouring water here and there. As it's dropping down the engine, is entering your bell housing, settling on your clutch kit, release bearing, friction plate, pressure plate. The pressure plate is what Nigerians call clutch disc, but actually it's clutch pressure plate. Then the other one is friction plate. That's the one generally known as clutch plate. It's called friction plate and the clutch disc. So that's actually the one that is clutch disc, not the pressure plate Nigerians refer as clutch disc. So you can call it clutch plate. The out plate, friction plate, pressure plate, the out plate, but you can call it, to be specific, you can call it friction plate or the clutch disc. So the disc is not pressure plate. So once water is settling down on these things over time, the first thing is the release bearing will give up sooner than you expect. Then as water is entering, they are touching on the friction plate. The pressure plate, those fingers there, you start to rust, and the spring. So over time, the clutch, your clutch pedal will become hard to depress. So anybody watching the video, don't make it a habit, washing your engine almost every morning. If you have a manual transmission, I will advise against it. So like he mentioned, like Donabella mentioned too, don't be driving. If you see water, it's 504, water, it doesn't have electrical component that water will disturb. You go and swim with the car. See, you are damaging your clutch kit. Of course, it may not be immediately, just give it time, So, moving on. This same Abasi freak said, great, I've been conceiving a similar fit over here at the southern part. Okay, I don't know. So, Okay, I think I'll end this one here. So another time, do another video. If I have time tomorrow, maybe I'll continue where I stop. So I hope this video makes sense, and till next time.